Hello and welcome, I am Thomas Porteous and you are watching NewsX World. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. After Friday's devastating 7.7 magnitude earthquake strikes Myanmar, the death toll rises to 1,600. The war-torn country's militia junta government begins to allow international aid from China, India and Russia. Aftershocks from the earthquake persist as rescue efforts press on throughout the Mandalay region. Residents scrambled through collapsed buildings searching for survivors after the quake kills over 1,600 people in Myanmar and at least 11 in neighbouring Thailand. Anti-coup rebels in Myanmar, led by the People's Defence Force, declare a 2-week partial ceasefire to allow earthquake relief efforts. This comes as the military junta continues to bomb parts of the country following the major earthquake. Ukraine accuses Russia of war crimes with military hospital strike in the region of Kharkiv, damaging the building and wounding military personnel undergoing treatment in the hospital, while killing 2 others in a drone attack in the region. In the Middle East, Hamas says it supports resuming a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip amid Israeli airstrikes. The proposal put forward by Arab mediators would see 5 more hostages released to Israel in exchange for a 50-day truce. Meanwhile, Hamas releases a new video of a hostage kept in Gaza. Hundreds of thousands of people in Turkey have continued to protest against the jailing of Istanbul Mayor Imamoglu. President Erdogan's main rival's arrest has seen the largest protest that the country has seen in over a decade. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says Japan is indispensable in countering Chinese aggression during his visit to the East Asian country. Trump's top defense official is in Japan working to establish a credible deterrence in the region, including across the Taiwan Strait. A wave of protests against billionaire Elon Musk's actions in the US government department erupts outside Tesla dealerships across America and several European cities yesterday. In northwest Germany, 7 Tesla cars are torched, with police launching an investigation. We start now with the developing story of the Myanmar earthquake. The country's ruling junta has confirmed the death toll from the massive earthquake in Myanmar has now risen to 1,644, with over 3,400 injured. A powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck on Friday, causing widespread destruction across Myanmar and Thailand. Rescue operations continue in Bangkok, where dozens of workers remain trapped under the rubble of a collapsed skyscraper. So far, 2 bodies have been recovered, but more than 70 workers are still unaccounted for. In Myanmar, damage to critical infrastructure, including bridges and roads, has hindered humanitarian efforts. The UN reports that disruptions along the Yangon-Naypyidaw expressway have further complicated aid delivery. Additionally, medical supplies are in severe shortage, worsening the crisis. More than 50 mosques were damaged in Myanmar, and hundreds of Muslim worshippers are feared dead. The UN has mobilised emergency aid, sending 137 tonnes of supplies, with more to follow from India. Urgent assistance is crucial as the full scale of the disaster unfolds. We move on with more news from the earthquake. Myanmar's military junta has continued its airstrikes in the aftermath of the devastating earthquake. The UN has condemned these attacks as completely outrageous and unacceptable, especially as rescue efforts are underway. The United Nations Special Rapporteur Tom Andrews called it incredible that the military continues bombings while people are still trapped under rubble. Reports confirmed that 7 people were killed in an airstrike in the Shan state just hours after the earthquake. Additional reports indicate bombings in the quake's epicenter, Saigang, near the border. Pro-democracy rebel groups have also reported airstrikes in the region. In response, Myanmar's national security government announced a 2-week pause in offensive military operations, except defensive actions in earthquake-affected areas. Despite the pause, the junta's continued bombings raise global concern as the country struggles with both the earthquake aftermath and ongoing conflict. We are now joined by our correspondent for NewsX World, Brian Thomas, who is joining us from Bangkok, Thailand. Brian, what can you tell us?
NewsX is in Bangkok and we have been covering what happened in Bangkok. More than 10 people have unfortunately lost their lives. 76 people are still missing and 46 people have sustained injuries. Let me show you these exclusive, rather, visuals up close. You can see this accident site. We are coming close. We are trying to give you a closer picture of the site that is here. These are these visuals also you can see that has happened day before yesterday was that very time where unfortunately this major earthquake jolted Bangkok, parts of Bangkok and Myanmar, and this is that 33-story building which was an under construction building, and we are trying to give you a picture, a closer picture, a closer, very closer. These are some of close exclusive visuals also of the site. There are many, this has left many such marks. Also, you can see these inside visuals also of the site that has been there. It has been under construction, and this is the building that fell prey to the massive earthquake that happened day before yesterday. You can see these crane works have been happening. There are these big machines, big cranes also that have been deployed to rescue the people who are still, stuck under the rubble. There are many such machines also outside. Also, there are mobile units, mobile ambulances. You can get an idea of these visuals also that is here, and I'll also be trying to show you these tents that have been here. These are the this is that kiosk that has been made where you get information about the missing people. We are trying to come in front and show you. These are the mobile units also, tent like structures that have been made for the media personals as well, you can see. And apart from that also, this is that missing people complaint tents that have been made. These are temporary settlements kind of that has been made where you get information about the missing persons. We'll try to show you. This entire place has been cordoned off, and these are the data also that is here where you get information about missing people. This is that very temporary settlement. You can see ahead also that these are some informations that is there, that you get many informations about the missing person. People who have any query, any confusion, they can come here and they can get information about the missing individuals, missing people who are here. There are still 76 people who are unaccounted for. You can see these officials also who have been working, who are here, and many such mobile units have also been deployed at this very location. And yes, we are trying to give you all that update that is available from here so that the viewers who are watching us can get more perspective, more idea of what is happening.
Brian Thomas now joins us live from Thailand, from Bangkok in Thailand. Brian, thank you very much for joining us. You are obviously in Thailand right now. The risk has gone from the earthquake. The state of emergency was pulled back a few days back. But what can you tell me, Brian, about these ongoing rescue efforts, in particular this building that's collapsed, which video has gone all around the world, of this high-story building that has collapsed and which these rescue efforts are now ongoing to save all these people?
Well, definitely. Now I am also outside this missing reports lost also that is being made behind me also. I'll again, I'll show you these, try to show you these visuals also. You can see as well. These missing data charts have been put out where it has been dated till now. There have been 96 people. Yet at same, one person is still reported. There are 8 injured.
I believe Brian is having some network issues there, unfortunately, but we will move to our guest, Rajul Goenka, President of the Myanmar India Business Chamber, located in Yangon, Myanmar. Thank you very much for joining us, Rajul. Obviously, this death toll is expected to rise significantly more over the next few days. It's now 1,600 with international aid now coming in. What can you tell me of the feeling in Myanmar in general right now, the feeling towards the international efforts going towards aid, and also we'll touch on the military strikes, the continued rule of the Myanmar military junta. How are you feeling about the whole thing, Rajul?
See, currently in Myanmar, the feeling of shock and fear is still very prevalent. In fact, midnight tonight, around 1 a.m. Myanmar time, there was a panic rumor mentioning that there would be a significant aftershock coming in. So most of the people rushed out of their homes. Subsequently, advisories were issued by the government and various organizations telling people to stay calm and not to fall prey to such false and misinformation. But there is still a lot of panic and fear among the people. I would definitely commend our neighbors, especially India and Singapore, Vietnam, Malaysia, China, who have immediately rushed a lot of aid and, more importantly, rescue personnel, medical doctors and medical equipment to focus on the rescue part of this mission. We have received personnel even from Russia, and more countries are pledging support and are sending in aid and personnel to help in this ongoing rescue mission. I think rescue is the need of the hour. We and our organizations in Myanmar are taking care of relief efforts, not just relying on the government or foreign aid. Individually, through local NGOs and through local businesses, we have mobilized teams, have started to raise funds, and have sent teams in the most affected areas of Mandalay and Naypyidaw to provide whatever assistance to people in terms of food, in terms of medicines, and also provide some tents where they can spend the night, as people are still afraid to go back to go into their homes.
But Jewel, we can't get distracted from the fact that the UN, there has been reported attacks by Myanmar's military junta after this earthquake happened. The United Nations, understandably, has called it completely outrageous and unacceptable. What more can you tell me about these strikes which occurred after the earthquake?
Honestly, not much more. Not much information is available about it within the country. But what we are hearing and what we are seeing on the ground is there is a unified effort with all parties involved in trying to first address this massive humanitarian crisis. People are working together, both civil society, government, and everyone are working together to alleviate the suffering that people are going through and have gone through. So it's been a joint effort, and we hope that this joint effort continues, and something good comes out of this very tragic incidents.
Rajul, what can you tell me a bit more about the international aid that's coming into the country? Obviously, Myanmar is not cut off from the world, but certainly isolated since 2021, and now these countries like India, like Russia, you mentioned Singapore, have been coming in and offering aid. What specifically has been the most helpful in regards to the military personnel coming in and helping the people of Myanmar?
I think the most important thing is these rescue teams which have come in, getting their expertise and equipment to help take out survivors that are stuck under the buildings. So I think this is the most important thing, as time is of essence. This is the most critical thing, and I think there have been teams which have come in from India, from China, Singapore, Vietnam, Malaysia, and even Thailand has sent in their team. And we are expecting more teams coming in from other countries also. It is a massive operation which is going on. Apart from that, the Indian government has sent in a lot of medical supplies, ambulances, and other medical equipment, first aid kits, which is equally important for the survivors of the earthquake who need to be treated properly, so they can recover fast. So there is a two-pronged approach, both focusing on the rescue, which is the priority right now, and also at the same time taking care of the relief efforts, which is also happening. The amount of support that we have received from the international community is overwhelming, and we are very thankful for everyone to support us during this very critical and hard times. We are very grateful for them to forget all differences and come to us during this humanitarian crisis.
Understandably, Rajul, people are very, I'm sure, are very tense and very concerned about the possibility of these aftershocks, which can happen days after the initial quake. What other issues are people facing along with the fear of aftershocks in the country of Myanmar at the moment? What's the main feeling?
Well, apart from this, one of the biggest problems that we are facing is power outages. The distribution lines have been severely damaged. Yangon, the city from where I am, we are only getting 4 hours of electricity per day since the earthquake has struck. That too is to help people to be able to get water for their daily needs. So electricity is a big issue that we are facing. There has been significant impact on the telecom infrastructure. So for us to connect with our friends and family in Mandalay and the areas affected by the earthquake is being challenging. There is limited internet service available across the country. Luckily, so far, I think, as you know, that there is a severe shortage of medical supplies right now. Things like blood is also needed. So there is a general sense of panic. But at the same time, people in other parts of Myanmar who have not been that effective are very strong, and we have gathered all our resources to go and help our brothers who are suffering right now, in terms of providing them whatever little we can from the limited resources we have.
Rajul Goenka, thank you very much for joining us, and all the best. We now move to news from the United States. 7 Tesla cars were set on fire in Berlin, Germany, sparking police concerns over a possible motive. The incidents occurred on early Friday morning in different districts with multiple vehicles damaged. Authorities have not identified any suspects, but attacks coincide with global protests against CEO Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Demonstrators gathered outside Tesla showrooms in cities from Australia to the US as part of the Tesla takedown movement. Protesters urged people to boycott Tesla, sell stocks, and oppose Musk's rule in cutting US federal budgets under Donald Trump's Department on Government Efficiency. More than 200 rallies were held worldwide, with local themes shaping each event. Ireland's demonstration was called Smash the Fash, while Switzerland's protest carried the slogan Down the Doge. Organisers say stopping Musk will help protect democracy and save jobs. The fires in Berlin remain under investigation, with authorities not ruling out a connection to the anti-Musk demonstrations. We are now joined by Dr. Veselin Ivana-Popovsky, Professor and Vice Dean of Jindal Global Law School, located in New Delhi, for joining us now. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Popovsky. Why are people so angry with Elon Musk all around the world?
Well, for several reasons, and one most important one, obviously, is those massive firing of tens of thousands of people in United States with short notice. I just learned the U.S. Institute for Peace, created by Ronald Reagan, by the way, on congressional money, nothing to do with any president, was basically stormed by some of the Elon Musk's officers, computers removed, they receive email messages, they are fired immediately on the same day on Friday. But also the cutting of the social security services, and this is why it's so massive, because that now affects millions of people from all parts of the United States, from all ranges, that they are cut their social security benefits and all other benefits. So it is unprecedented, and I guess millions of people, and I know many myself, by the way. I have colleagues who suffer already. Their children cannot go to schools, and the schools are closing, universities are closing. It's unprecedented. I think it reminds what Adolf Hitler did in 1930s.
Yes.
Obviously, there will be more protests, absolutely expected protests.
Dr. Popovsky, obviously these protests are to get the message across, but there's also a boycott of buying Teslas. People are stopping buying Teslas. Does this have the capability to hurt Elon Musk, the richest man in the world?
Well, his stocks are already half down, 50% to start with. And he's losing his, he has a lot, 300 billion, but obviously he lost half of this already, and he will lose more because of the style of his actions and because of the speed of those actions. So he cannot expect anything better because of his own position in the government. Well, advisory position, but basically he's in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency, massive cuts in social services, as I said, so nothing to be surprised of, obviously. I would never advise anybody to buy any Tesla anymore, or any stocks, or any cars, because these are going to collapse, and very soon.
People are obviously angry all around the world. We've seen Elon Musk getting involved in politics all around the world, especially in Europe. What do you make of this?
Well, again, interesting, he turned back to Republicans more recently. He was a supporter of Obama and Hillary Clinton back in 2012 and 2016. And again, nothing positive about that. He was supporting also the right-wing, the extreme right-wing parties in Germany, which also infuriates people in all around the world. We see those Tesla takedowns everywhere, in Australia, in Switzerland, in London. By the way, not the first time the car torch. Remember, 6th of March, 12 cars in France went on fire in another Tesla takedown protest. There were 80 cars burned in Canada and United States on 21st of March. So those things go and go regularly. There is a global movement called Tesla Takedown.
Yes.
Officially, they are very peaceful. They only say protest, but not burn cars. But sometimes it goes even there.
Dr. Veselin Ivanov-Popovsky, thank you very much for joining us. We now move on. Russia launched deadly drone strikes on Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, late on Saturday, hitting a military hospital, a shopping centre and apartment blocks. 2 people were killed and at least 25 others, including servicemen, were injured. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned the attack as a war crime. Just an hour earlier, President Volodymyr Zelensky called for a strong Western response to Russia's relentless assaults. This is what he had to say.
Росію треба примусити до миру, і тільки примус спрацює. Вже надто довго на столі пропозиція Америки про безумовне припинення вогню, без адекватної відповіді з Росії. Це багато говорить. Вже могло би бути припинення вогню, якби на Росію був справжній.
The Ukrainian president reported that over 170 drones targeted multiple regions, including Kyiv and Dnipro, where 4 people were killed. Meanwhile, Russia claimed control of 3 villages in eastern and southern Ukraine, further intensifying the conflict. Moscow's forces reportedly seized villages in Sumy. Ukraine has not confirmed these losses, and independent verification remains difficult. Well, that's all we have time for. We will continue to bring you more news updates from around the world.